Hello, welcome to today's video. As you can see, I already have my shisha started. So, in case you don't know, my name is Jovajna or Jo, and today I will be reviewing A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. As always, if you do like my content, kindly subscribe and leave me a comment. I love comments, and leave me a recommendation. I adore recommendations. Books, TV shows, movies, everything. Just toss them at me. I love reading, I love watching, and yeah, I do make time for it. So let's get started. Why I read this book. This is my first kind of topic. I do have my topics written down. I am very newbie at this, so bear with me. I read this book because it has been recommended to me a number of times. A lot of people that read kind of the same genre as me have been saying, hey, Court of Thorns and Roses, you should read it, you should read it. And I might be late to the party, but yeah, I know it came out like 2009, I believe. It was a long time ago. But I did read at one point her other series. I read a couple of books from that series, The Throne of Glass. But I wasn't that into her writing style, so that's why I dropped it, and I might go back to it and actually read it again. But yeah, I wanted to read this book, and I wanted to review this book mostly because it's in the YA genre, and because the targeted audience is young adults. And that's why I kind of wanted to give my 2 cents on this topic. So yeah, that's why I read it. Now then, reviewing this book without spoilers. Okay, so this book is inspired by fairy tales, and it is inspired by Beauty and the Beast, which is a French fairy tale, East of the Sun and West of the Moon, which is a Norwegian fairy tale, and Tamlin, which is Scottish, I believe. So you can definitely see these influences, and they kind of add a little flavor to the novel. So the general plot is there's a Fey kingdom and there's a human kingdom, well, multiple kingdoms, but there's a Fey area and a human area, and it is about a girl who's human and how she interacts with the Fey and how she ends up getting into a mess because of the Fae. So yeah, that is just like the general plot without revealing anything too spoilery. My review for this, without giving anything away. Oh my gosh, I'm really bad at not giving anything away. So yeah, generally it is a very nice novel, written in the first point of view, and it follows the human protagonist, so the girl, Feyre, I believe it's Feyre, that's how it's pronounced. She ends up getting into a fairy mess, and then everything kind of unfolds from there. I noticed influences from, obviously, those 3 fairy tales that I mentioned. I noticed influences from Neil Gaiman's Stardust, from ancient Greece, so kind of Hercules and his tasks, which he had to do in order to get back into good graces. I noticed this kind of fan fictiony, that is such a weird word. That is not even a word, but okay, now it's a word. So I noticed this kind of fan fiction-y style of writing and kind of tropes that are very popular in fan fiction. I am a fan fiction writer and reader myself, avid reader of fan fiction. So yeah, I did notice that, and it didn't kind of make me stop reading. So yeah, that is one thing that I might warn people about. If you are not into fan fiction, this might not be the book for you. So yeah, overall, it is a romance. It is set in a fantasy world, and it does have okay-ish world building. The characters are not as developed as I would have liked them to be, and the writing is maybe not as complex as some of the books that I usually read. So that is it for the non-spoiler review. If I say anything, I will give stuff away. I am horrible with spoilers. So let's get into the spoiler part of the review and kind of just air out the dirty laundry. Okay, so this is the spoiler review. First and foremost, did I like this book? Yeah, I enjoyed it. I am shameless, and I'm going to say it. I enjoyed it. Did I hate myself for enjoying it? Yes, I hated myself the whole way through for enjoying it. Okay. So, why did I enjoy this? Well, as I've already mentioned, I do read a lot of fan fiction, and I do write a lot of fan fiction myself. So I did kind of enjoy these familiar tropes from fan fiction that you don't often see in popular literature. But because Sarah J. Maas was a fan fiction writer before she started writing her own original work, yeah, you can kind of see the influences. All right, you will be noticing me doing this a lot. I am switching the coal around to smoke. All right, so the spoiler review starts with, well, the first two-thirds of the book are really slow-paced. And on one hand, that is very good because we get to meet the characters. On the other hand, it's bad because these characters are not deep. They are not three-dimensional enough to keep me going. But I still kept going because I wanted to see, at the end, I wanted to see what the fuss was about. And then in the last third of the book, everything is very just fast-paced and you are kind of confused. But at this point, you're just reading really quickly. And I do get that. But maybe the pacing should have been done differently. So that is one of the things that I wanted to say. I liked the fact that at the very end, it is not a prince saves the damsel, but a damsel saves the prince. That's what I really liked about it, because there are not enough books that showcase this. And if you do have good recommendations about books that showcase this, send me. I am trash for this trope. So yeah, in the overall kind of review of this, kudos to the idea. Maybe work on delivery. That is what I would say. First, I do not like first point of view that much. I adore third person POV and I am trash for it. When I read fan fiction as well, if I see that it's first point of view, it will make me pause. I will read it if it's a good first POV, but I don't really like first POV. So yeah, where I saw the references to Neil Gaiman's Stardust is the wall, the idea of the wall. So in Stardust, spoiler for Stardust as well, there is a wall that divides humans and this fantasy magical kingdom that he writes about. And his delivery, I do suggest reading Stardust. I suggest reading Stardust to anyone because it's wonderful and Neil Gaiman is a rock star. So I do suggest reading it, and you will see kind of like the different delivery of this division of humans and magical beings. Oh my gosh, it is just beautiful delivery. You will see similarities with Sarah J. Maas's Court of ACOTAR. I'm just gonna call it ACOTAR because it's so shorter. Okay, so you will see the similarities, the hate from humans, the stereotypes, the mistrust, everything, and the wall. And then after the main character crosses the wall, you will see that change and slowly the understanding of the magical world, the differences between the humans and the magical beings, the mess that the main character gets into. And also you will see a big difference. I will be referencing to Stardust so much. You will see the difference in drive. This was my main issue with Feyre, the drive. Where was her drive? So essentially, she is taken to the fairy world, to the Fey world. I'm not sure. Okay, this is my dog. He will come and join us probably. He sometimes does kind of want to join what I'm doing. No, he's just going to sleep next to my chair. So sorry, you will hear him throughout the videos probably. So yes, Feyre is taken to the Fey world because she committed a crime. She killed a Fey and skinned him. That was just, I did not enjoy that. So yeah, but she's taken as kind of an ultimatum. She can either die or go to the Fey world, and then that's it. That's the whole drive. There's no drive. She has no purpose in the Fey world. Okay, that was my first point. To contrast this with Neil Gaiman's Stardust, his main character, Tristan, goes to find a falling star for his lady love. Notice the fairy tale-like similarities. So yeah, while Feyre is also fairy tale-like, she does not have that drive. Tristan, the whole time he is on his quest to find the falling star, he has a drive, he has a goal, he has clear vision. And that is why you keep reading about Tristan and why you are hesitant to keep reading about Feyre. Or at least that was the situation with me. So yeah, I wanted that goal, I wanted that purpose, I wanted the drive to be stronger with Feyre. At the beginning, we see her drive to get back home, which is natural. And if you have watched any of the animes or read any of the books where it's like falling through time, girl falling through time, or boy falling through time, you will see this popular trope. Popular as a trope, for example, in Inuyasha or in the popular TV series and books Outlander, where the person has fallen through time or through wherever and they want to get back home, and that is fine. However, Feyre changes her mind and she does not want to go home anymore, and that's where she loses all of her purpose, all of her drive, and midway through the book she loses it. And that's where I had a problem, because I wasn't interested in reading her story anymore, because she had already decided to end it there, to live happily ever after with her Fey love. Okay, so from there, we have to talk about the ending. So at the very end, Feyre changes her drive and gets a new drive, and that is the realization that she loves Tamlin and that she wants to save him, and that's where we get the trope of damsel saves knight in shining armor, or whatever, or prince, whatever. So she does change her drive, she does get a new drive. However, I felt that this was forced. I think my issue was that I felt that their love was forced. And by the way, great red herring. So a red herring is a literary device and also an idiom in the English language, but it's a literary device where you kind of throw the reader off the scent of where the books are supposed to go. Spoilers for the future ACOTAR books. Tamlin is not her true love. Tamlin is not her, mate, right? I'm going to be struggling with this mates thing for the whole time. So Tamlin is not her true love, and you can feel that, but in the beginning, the red herring of Tamlin is great. And I do have to give kudos to that, because I am myself very bad at making red herrings. So yeah, whenever I see a good red herring, I'm like, props to you. So yeah, good job, Mass. Good job. Okay, my next issue with Feyre was mostly because she had no character development. I've seen a lot of people say she had no character to begin with, but I'm like, did she really not have any character to begin with? I do get the feeling that she is a little bit, coffee, I promise. I do get a little bit of a feeling that she was kind of a very tropey character from the beginning. And she was very, she's a huntress, and she is very, like, a strong female lead, but where is the strength? There was never any strength. Like, she had a mistrust of fairies in the beginning, and I would have loved if that mistrust had, like, stayed there and not gone away, but it did go away. The closer she got to Tamlin and the closer she got to Lucien, she lost that mistrust, those stereotypes. And if you are going to make your character, make a person lose their stereotypes, they have to be faced with situations that show them differently. And I felt like this book did not show that. It just showed Feyre abandoning her stereotypes, abandoning what she was raised with, and becoming this mellow, bland person without a drive in the maybe second third of the book. So yeah, her focus was on love there. And I always say, if a character is only living to be in love, it's not a person. I mean, has anyone ever had a relationship where they were just living for their relationship? This is a definition of toxic relationships. If you have a character who's just obsessed with their love, they are not a person. This is a two-dimensional character, not deep enough. So those were my issues. Yeah, those were mostly my issues with Feyre. Yeah, I did like her sassy commentary. I did like her kind of strong suits that she pointed out, that she's a huntress, so on. Those scenes where she catches the cereal, and I hope that I'm pronouncing that right, and she asks for the truth. That was really nice. Like, she was showing off that she can actually do what is her, like, you know, skill and so on. So I did like that. To get into the next character, Tamlin. Why? Just why? Why? Why does the main love interest have to be broody, no emotions, withdrawn, like, I don't know, why? Give him a personality, for God's sake, give him a personality. So Tamlin, yeah, just, there was no personality. There was, again, no drive, at least until the last bit of the book, where he, like, explains that he did have a drive, or, well, somebody explains for him that he did have a drive, but again, you never see this in the book. So he should have wanted to break this curse, and I felt like I would have loved him or liked him much more if he had actually committed to this. Like, I understand there was time that was passing, there were all these years with no solution in sight, but I felt like if, you know, he had actually been committed to it from the moment he got Feyre as his possibility of solution, and resorted to even, you know, underhanded methods. Like, let's remember, what was that? The goal, oh shoot, I'm translating this from Serbian. This is really bad. So the goal explains, like excuses the methods. If that had been his deal, I felt like I would have liked him so much more. But he goes from this noble character in the beginning to bland lord shrouded in mystery to like a doormat to the main villain to nothing. I literally, why? So yeah, I did not like Tamlin, and I did not like him as a love interest because I felt like he and Feyre had nothing in common. Yeah, I've heard this said so many more times. Finally, the other characters that are mentioned in these books, or in this one book, more precisely, Lucien. I liked Lucien. I liked him. I hope that I'm saying this right. Is it Lucien or is it Lucien? I am so confused. Yeah, I read it as Lucien, so I'm just gonna keep calling him Lucien. So I was immediately intrigued by his character. I am a sucker kind of like for the side characters who are snarky and maybe quick to anger. And what I loved about him, though, was the fact that he overcame his stereotypes. and he developed. So in the beginning, he says that he hates humans, that he doesn't like Feyre, that he is against her staying there. He is laughing at Tamlin even. And I loved that moment where he said, where he sends Feyre to capture the Suriel, and then when he says, I hesitated to help you. Good job. This is a perfect moment of character growth, and this is literally one of the only moments of character growth in this book, where he says, I hesitated, but I'm sorry, and I've learned from my mistakes, and I will do different. The definition of character growth is changing, and this is in human nature. Like, if you think about your own lives, there have always been moments where you've changed because of a certain event. And this is what happens to Lucien. He meets Feyre, he starts liking her, he hesitates, he apologizes, he does better, or tries to do better. Spoilers again for the future books. So yeah, maybe he is one of my favorite characters. But yeah, he's a very tropey, he's a very fan-fiction-y character, so I am kind of biased. I do like those kinds of characters in fan-fiction, exceptionally like the kind of, you know, side love interest that you know it's not going to be the main love interest, but you kind of love them anyways. I'm thinking of, oh my gosh, Nikolai Lantsov from the Grishaverse. So yeah, that's the kind of character that I like. Alright, next, I want to talk about Amarantha. I hope that I'm saying this right, because Amarantha is the flower and then Amarantha is, I guess, the villain. So, her name is Amarantha. She is the main villain. Okay, oh my gosh. How do I pack all of these impressions? So, first and foremost, she is a grade A bish. Awesome. Love it. Make me an evil villain. Make me the Dark Lord, but not a Dark Lord, but a female Dark Lord. I live for this. I live for female villains. Strong female villains. And then, like, she has all of these allusions to what she's going to be, to her power, to her might, to her cunning, to her smart schemes and whatnot. And then when we actually meet her, she's lukewarm. So I'm like, okay, I was expecting volcano. I was expecting stuff. I got nothing. This is where I had my issue. If she is so evil, if she is such a strong villain, why didn't she show this? Where was the showing? Like, we're just being told she's so evil, she's so cunning. And then when she actually gets to appear, she's not cunning, she's not she's not a seductress, she's not anything that we've been told that she is. She is powerful, yes, but not by having her own power, but by stealing power. And she's borderline stupid. I mean, why would you even entertain the idea of giving Feyre three quests, like 3 tasks to do, and promise to, you know, like, set her lord free? If you know, if you were smart, you wouldn't. You would make a trick. I was expecting the other shoe to drop the whole time, and when the shoe did not drop, I was like, why didn't it drop? Why didn't it drop? I wanted the other shoe to drop. Because I was expecting, because she phrased her tasks as, if you do these tasks, I will let the spring court Fae go free. And then I was expecting her with the riddle, because she said, if you answer this riddle, I will immediately free them. I was expecting her to kill them all. I was like, okay, immediately release is just murdering them straight up. Give me that. I wanted that. I wanted to see her cunning. And I didn't. And I was sad, because she had so much potential. But then she had nothing to show for it. So, yeah. And in the end, I think what bothered me most is that she was instantly killed. Like, she's a general, right? She's a general in this evil army of evils. She fought in a war. She should have been able to do at least something. It just shows that she wasn't as strong as she was portrayed, and I did not enjoy that. Next, Rhys. Oh my gosh, I have so many things that I want to say about this character, and I will actually unpack him in another video because I've been thinking about his character a lot. So yeah, he might have been my favorite character in this part of the series, but after that he just kind of stops being my favorite character in the rest of the series. So let's talk about Rhys. Oh my gosh. From the get-go, he is a very interesting character. From the get-go, we see him as this kind of gray morality character. Like, he's not good, he's not bad, you have no idea what he's thinking, you have no idea what he's planning and plotting. And these characters, like morally gray characters, are my favorite characters because there's just so much to think about. And that's what I want from books. I want to think about these characters after I'm done reading the book. I want to not be able to imagine what they'll do in a situation, not because they're two-dimensional, but because they're smarter than me. And I'm by no means, I don't think that I'm stupid. I might be, but I love these characters who are intelligent, who are cunning, who kind of intrigue me. And Rhys did that in the first part of the series. He did that. He did provide the intrigue that I wanted. So he's introduced as a villain, but not a villain, the main villain. He's introduced as a villain lackey, which I also liked. He's introduced as this powerful lord nobody knows anything about. Nobody knows anything about his court, but he has a reputation. And I'm like, okay, I'm down for this. Okay, let's see where this goes. There are scenes where he's proven to be cunning, to have alternative plans, alternative motives. He is, I don't want to say an ally, but he is like the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of ally. And these are the most intriguing alliances for me in books and series. So yeah, I really did like him. I felt like he wasn't the villain, as in a sense that he wasn't evil. But, okay, I'm gonna make a really weird reference here, but okay, bear with me. Shakespeare's Richard III. I said that I'm an English major and that these things will pop up. So after reading about Rhys and thinking about him for a while, I couldn't help but making this correlation. Richard III is colored by the Tudor myth, and he is shown as a monster. And he is shown in the Shakespeare's drama, he is shown as a villain of circumstance, in my opinion. So why is he not a villainous villain in my analysis? Is, well, he just wanted attention. He just wanted the crown for the purposes of attention. And when he gets the crown, he doesn't even know what to do with it because that's not what he wanted. He wanted to be seen. So another kind of maybe historical background here is that at that time, so during the Tudors, is that if somebody was handicapped, if somebody was malformed, and Richard is described as malformed, you couldn't look upon them. That was taboo, to look upon a handicapped person. So him being the third prince, him being disabled, makes him be like a shadow character. And that's where his ambitions to be seen fester, and he becomes the villain of circumstance. If he had had a different upbringing, he might have not been a villain. That is my analysis of him. And why I connected Richard and Rhys, not because of the R, but because Rhys feels like that. He feels like a villain of circumstance in this case. So yeah, he has his ulterior motives, and he has been forced into a pick, like a bad or a worse choice, and he needs to pick. So yeah, I do like this. I love this. This is like drama within the character, and I do love this kind of like pick your poison kind of thing. So yeah, I did enjoy his character. What I had an issue with, however, I had an issue with him in the later books. So I will make a video about him only, and I will address them there. But yeah, I did kind of have this feeling, and I think this is why I was drawn to him. Like, whenever I have this feeling of like, please be good, I want you to be good, I want you to be friends with the main character, and I want you to be good, I do like these characters, that I feel this about them. So he made me feel, and that I, props to that. So yeah, I wanted to address one more thing about him before I move on to the next character. So he has this moment in the third third of the book. That's such a weird. Okay, third of the book. He has these moments where I've seen them addressed as sexual abuse and kind of manipulation and so on. And I did want to address this. Yes, I did not like this. So on one hand, I understood he had to make these choices. It was a case of, you have to pick your poison. However, maybe he picked the poison in the bad way. Like, maybe, I don't know, if it had been shown in a different way, I might have even been like fine with it. I know this is such a bad thing to say, but I might have even been fine with it if he had confided in Feyre instead of just manipulating her and then showing up as the good guy later on. So no, I do not condone that part, and I felt like, yeah, maybe it was, I don't think it was necessary, but I do feel like I do understand why she chose to put this in. I'm not making excuses, but yeah, so let's specifically address the whole sexy garments, painted skin, drugged dance scenes. That's a mouthful. So, in order to draw attention away from Feyre in, like, she's the champion, she's the target, he made this choice to protect her. Maybe he should have consulted her first. I do see where he's coming from. Maybe he didn't trust her enough to consult her. But then, like, relationships should be built on trust and not on manipulation. So I felt like this could have been executed better. I do understand why it was made like written like that, but I felt like it could have been done better. So that's my 2 cents on those scenes, and anybody who's read these books knows what scenes I'm talking about. Final character that I'm going to address is Alice, however you pronounce her name. Again, I am sorry, I did not read the pronunciation guide in the back. I know that there's a pronunciation guide. All right, that's my girl. She's my favorite character. Like, the most unimportant character is my favorite character of this book series. Why? Okay, because I felt like she was fleshed out, and that's unfortunate that the side character, the biggest side, the biggest side character, as in like the smallest character in the book, was fleshed out. So at the very beginning, when we meet her, we are shown the stereotypes. We are shown that she's an ally. We are shown that she has a task to like overcome, like an obstruction to overcome, obstacle. Sorry, English. So she has an obstacle to overcome, and at the very end, she overcomes that obstacle. So if this book had been about Alice, I would have read it so much faster, because she's intriguing, and she has this I'm going to again throw like a very weird reference, but Beowulf and the Wanderer and Seafarer. So we're talking right now Old English literature in Old English. They have this thing called the Warrior Code, and the common topic here is the dilemma of love versus duty. And that is what Alice or Alice has. She has the, like, kind of this, you know, you can't choose well between these two. And that's why she's intriguing. The nuance, the complexity. So yeah, she has a reason why she needs to stay at Tamlin's court. Loyalty. She needs she has a reason because why she needs to go back to her nephews. Love. And she is torn between these two. And in the midst of her division between loyalty and love, we get her overcoming her own stereotypes that she has grown up with. That humans are bad, I don't know, smelly, stupid, whatever. So she overcomes them, and she kind of likes Feyre in the end. She does have her issues with Feyre, but in the end, she does like her, and she becomes almost this kind of explanation, mentor, and guide figure at the very end. And I loved that about her, because from the beginning she has like hinted at being that kind of a character, and in the end where she actually becomes it, perfection. So that is the only character that I don't have an issue with and that I really loved. I would have loved seeing her more. Unfortunately, we don't really get that. This video is already getting a little bit long, so few words on the topic of world building. This world building, so this book did not provide a lot of world building. I felt like it was mostly given up to us in info dumps. However, I did like the mixture of hard magic system and soft magic system, where we do get some rules, some strict rules and regulations, and then we get some kind of, well, we're not sure what might happen here next, you know. So I did like that. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the different creatures that appear throughout, and their motives, their different abilities, and it was all very fairy tale-like, and I did enjoy that. I am very much trash for that. I am trash for fairy tales in general. So yeah, I did enjoy that. I felt like, you know, we should have gotten more out of this world building and not just info dumps. And I enjoyed the basis on pagan customs. Like, it was a good idea but a bad execution. I'm not sure if I'm phrasing this right. There are these couple of pagan customs where it's like, oh, it's this holiday, oh, it's that holiday, and it has this mixture of typical old religion cruelty and almost like a feral feel to it, and I did like that. I did enjoy that. But for Feyre, like, if Fae are almost like as close to beasts as you can because they are magical creatures, Feyre should have been either disgusted or just kind of put off by this, and I felt like she was trying to fit in too hard. So I felt like this could have been executed better, but I did enjoy that kind of pagan element that was put in. That was a very nice touch, a very nice addition. I'm sorry, you might hear the traffic. Final thoughts. Well, I've mentioned this a couple of times. Good idea. You could have done it better. Like, it could have been done better. But yeah, in the end, my total score would be like characters, 3 out of 10, just because there were only a few actually likable and intriguing characters. World building, maybe 6 out of 10. While not original, it wasn't done as poorly as I expected it to be. Overall enjoyment, 6 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. So that's kind of like my review with spoilers. Recommendation. So this is a recommendation section and it's completely spoiler free. I would recommend this book to people who have read a lot of fan fiction, who enjoy first person point of view, who enjoy female leads, and who enjoy love stories, and who enjoy fairy tale inspiration and tropes being flipped on their heads. So yeah, for example, if you've read other Sarah J. Maas works, yes, I do suggest this series and this book as well. For people who have read other kinds of things, so okay, if you read maybe the Grishaverse, the first 3 books, and you like the first 3 books, you should read these books and you will enjoy them. If you have read Neil Gaiman's Stardust, you won't enjoy this book. Well, yeah, you might enjoy it, but you will keep comparing it to Stardust, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for people who have read things like Tolkien, Neil Gaiman, C.S. Lewis, and so on. So people who enjoy epic fantasy, I don't feel like this is the book for people who enjoy these kinds of genres and these kinds of in-depth world building and character development books. So yeah, it is a very nice light reading book, and if you're looking for something just to kind of enjoy, not really think about a lot of things like while you're reading, yeah, this is the book for you. So yeah, that is kind of my recommendation. And finally, why I reviewed this book, I wanted to add this little section. So I have been hearing a lot about this book, and I have been hearing a lot of mixed feelings. You either love it or you hate it, and yeah, I don't know, like I feel like you can be ambivalent about it as well, but I wanted to review it because just of the okay, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I wanted to review it because of the characters and because I felt like it was a good idea but a bad execution, so it could have been done better, but it is still an enjoyable read. So I wanted to add this my 2 cents in on the topic. I didn't enjoy this as much as I wanted to, so maybe I had too high expectations. So yeah, if you have no expectations going in, do read it, and let me know what you thought as well. But yeah, finally, this is the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed kind of like me unpacking this book, and as promised, I'm going to add a video of a more in-depth analysis of Rhys, because I did want to talk about a couple of things about his character. And I'm going to repeat once more, I added this in my spoiler part of the video, so spoiler review part of the video, and I wanted to add this at the very end. Characters 3 out of 10, world building 6 out of 10, overall enjoyment 6 out of 10. These are kind of my scores for the book, the first book in the series. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to do reviews on the other books in the series, and as always, do give me recommendations about what I should read, because I love recommendations. And with that, have a great day and see you next time.